Tomorrow, Notorious killer Paul Bernardo will vie for release on parole for the second time since he became eligible in 2018. That was 25 years after he was sentenced for the torture and murder of teenagers Leslie Mahaffy and Kristen. Lisa Hepfner has more on what to expect.
Although Paul Bernardo is eligible to apply again nearly 3 years after his first attempt, he has no chance of actually getting parole, according to criminal lawyer Ari Goldkind.
He's not getting out. The parole board absolutely laid into him a couple of years ago, and his answers were quite frankly stupid. I cry all the time. Back then, I didn't have self-esteem. Anybody with a brain hearing that would know that it's hocus pocus.
The parole board says it considers an offender's past, present, and future when deciding whether the person can be safely released into the community. The future is the plan to reintegrate into society. The present is how the offender has behaved behind bars and whether they've shown attempts to improve. The past concerns the crimes that led to conviction. Family of murdered teenagers Leslie Mahaffy and Kristen are expected to describe their ongoing anguish. Their lawyer says they're dreading the online format of this hearing, which will mean they will have to see Bernardo's face. They have been arguing that parole hearings should be spread out to 5 years rather than 2.
No sooner does the ink dry on their last victim impact statement than they're called upon to do a second one.
But Ari Goldkind says the victim statements and whatever Paul Bernardo has to say will have less impact on the parole board than the information they will have reviewed beforehand.
If you go behind the scenes, it is often the risk assessment, which is detailed and lengthy, thousands of pages, that will carry the day much more than the emotional outpouring that certainly occurs at many of these hearings.
The victims' families have been trying to get access to the doctor and prison reports in the risk assessment, but they're protected due to privacy. Goldkind says the parole board will never be able to release Paul Bernardo regardless.
If any Canadian went to a grocery store and bumped into Paul Bernardo, I would think our country is very certainly doing something wrong.
It took less than half an hour for the parole board to deny Bernardo's request in 2018. Lisa Hepfner, CHCH News.